back to Ukraine to do like a procedure for my stepdad. So they ended up over the other side of the border, and I found myself with like 10 missed voicemails on my phone, running late for the school run. Like, we're supposed to be leaving the house at 8:20, and for the first time in forever, I slept through my alarm because my sister and I were having tea with another Ukrainian woman who lives on my street. So I wake up at 8 o'clock because my little sister is running into my room and is like, oh my God, we're going to be late for school. I see a text message from my mom that says that, like, we're in the car, and it was like, that's a whole other situation. The fact that she ended up in a car with my divorced grandparents who haven't spoken to each other in 25 years. And they are driving to the capital to get biometrics so my grandmother can have a rush visa to get out of Ukraine. At that point, we didn't know that the airports were bombed. So I wake up, my stepbrother has called me. He never ever, I don't think he's ever dialed my number in all of the many years that we've known each other. I have voicemails from him. He's with his girlfriend in Barcelona. So he's, I don't know, by sheer fluke, he's not in Ukraine. He's supposed to be in Ukraine as well. Like, he was the only one that was supposed to be there at the moment in time, and everyone else sort of ended up there. I'm calling my dad and telling him, like, pack your things. You have to get out of Kiev because they've been living under where it's currently occupied by Russians. And he's like, you're stressed. Like, why are you stressing out? And I'm like, I'm stressing out because things are getting bombed. Like, you need to get on with the things, and also trying to keep it together for my little sister who doesn't know what's happening. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't be crying and sobbing because I'm going to freak this 9-year-old angel out. So all that to say is that, like, much like many people, I wasn't really aware of what's going on until that very moment. And I found myself with this feeling of, oh my God, I don't know what to do. There is nothing I can do to help anyone who I really love. I don't know how to help my stepbrother who's in Barcelona with his girlfriend, who doesn't have a home to go back to. I don't know how to help my dad out because it's martial law. He can't get out. I don't know how to help my mom out because she doesn't have a visa for her mother. And I have to keep it together because my little sister can't be freaking out that she might never see her parents again. And like, oh my God, is there even a will? You know what I think? Oh my goodness. The best thing my mom said to me when I met her at the UK border was, I have to write a will. You know, we have to figure out the paperwork for the house.
The things to think about, right? Now, was this on like the 24th when
this is all
it started? Wow.
This is all day. Well, this is morning of day one, and we have like 15 minutes to leave the house. So I'm like trying not to cry, trying to do the things. And then I do the school run, and everyone's asking me like, oh, what's happening? You know, how is everyone? And I'm like, I don't know how everyone is. I just know that my grandparents, who haven't spoken for 25 plus years, are come together. I can imagine how awkward it is for my mom.
That's when you know it's serious.
That's when you know, like, I didn't need to look at the news to know that World War III had literally started. That was the only way that those two individuals would ever get into a car together, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, all jokes aside, to give you a little update, my father's family is still on the other side of the border, as is my stepfather, who wasn't allowed to leave. My mom and my grandmother made it out 56 hours later.
Wow.
The British held them because my grandmother still didn't have a visa. She now does. The British government held them at the border for 8 hours, but thankfully they let my grandmother go in the end. So she's here. She's safe. She's finally stopped crying. My mom is back too. She's also safe. I think she lost like 10 kilos or 11 kilos in like 4 days, essentially. And it's been 6 days since they've been home.